What's up, you guys? All right, so I really wanted to make this video better, but we are sitting here in the car and I'm just going to do a quick macro breakdown because I owe it to you guys and I wanted to already get this done. We are waiting to go into gymnastics. Blake is in there, but I have Layla in the car, so she's watching something. I'm just going to do this video. I was making some phone calls. Really quickly, macro breakdown. For those of you that are following macros, a macro is a macronutrient. It is just what makes up the food that we eat. So I always like to say diets are simply, strictly just the foods we eat. So whether you're doing a ketogenic diet or a low carb diet or a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet or whatever diet plan you're following, diets are simply just the foods that we eat. Okay, so with that said, let's talk about macronutrients. A macronutrient, we have carbs, protein, and fat. I say the missing macro is fiber. You guys can take notes. I'm going to try to keep this under 5 minutes and then we'll move on from here with questions. Okay, so macronutrients, a protein and a carb. I have notes here so I stay on track. Protein and carbs both have 4 grams per calorie. Yeah, and then 9 calories per gram. 9 calories per gram of fat, 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate, 4 calories per gram of protein. If those numbers just make your head spin, don't worry about it too much. I am the worst at math, okay? Never been a strong point for me, but it's really easy to kind of understand once you get down to it. Fiber, don't worry about the fiber and how many calories per gram, but you want to aim for, so this is where you take your notes. Fiber, 25 plus grams per day, okay? And I say plus, you guys, fiber is so important. I say it's the missing macro because this comes from obviously from fruits and vegetables, lentils, beans, all of those things. Your body does have to digest those carbs. This is going to go longer than 5 minutes, but your body does have to digest those carbs. So we're going to go into that in another video, but if you can't digest carbs and you get bloated or you're bloated when you eat veggies, there's lots of different ways to help combat that, but consider cooking them. Consider using a digestive enzyme. Okay, we'll talk more on that again. More questions, more videos. So fiber, 25 grams, up to 60 grams. Some people are like, whoa, 60 grams is too much. I even have some dietitian friends that are like, wow, that's too much fiber. But then I also have some, hey baby, I also have some dietitian friends that are like, oh yeah, 60 plus is okay, or 25 plus, like up to 60 grams is okay as long as you work your way there. So don't go from like 5 grams of fiber a day to 60 grams because that's when you're going to get all messed up. You think like you'd be going to the bathroom more, you'll get all constipated. So fiber. It's great for cholesterol, heart health, all the things. Get your fiber. That's going to force you to eat whole foods. So that's going to bring me to the next one, macronutrients. So macronutrients, it's going to fall under, if it fits your macros, that's a dietary strategy. Weight Watchers basically is a macronutrient plan. Some people are really strict with their macros and counting and adding. I personally hate it. It's very tedious, but it's a very vital tool for you to learn in portion sizes. Okay, so protein, this is one you want about 0.8 to 1 gram per goal pound of body weight. So if your goal is 100 pounds, aim for between 80 and 100 grams of protein a day while you're weight training. You need to go less eventually, but right now most of you your goal is to build some muscle, lose some fat. A lot of you guys, so you're going to go for 0.8 to 1 gram per goal pound of body weight. We'll talk goals in another video. We've talked about it a little bit. So we're just going to stick with the 100-pound goal. I hope none of you really have a 100-pound goal, but I'm just leaving it easy because I don't do math well in my head. Carbs, again, this is one that is controversial. You need carbs. You need carbs to for energy. Some people will argue and they'll say you can get it from fat. You can, but you're really going to get it from carbs. And if you don't have enough carbs, you want to know what's going to happen is your protein is going to be used up for glucose. It's called gluconeogenesis, when your body converts your protein to the carbohydrates, and then you can start to lose some muscle that you've been trying to earn. So each carbohydrates, you can aim for about let's go about 40% carbs. If that seems too high, go 25 to 30% carbs for some of my low carb people. Again, you're going 4 grams per 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. Fat. I don't personally need to add fats in my nutrition plan because I get fats from, I eat a bite of chocolate or I eat almond milk, but fats are going to be from nuts and seeds and butter if you're doing dairy, high fat dairy if you're doing dairy, avocado. So my favorite sources of fat are olive oil, avocado. I do like coconut oil. You have to be careful with the saturated fat. If you have any cholesterol issues at all, I don't care what keto guru you've been listening to, don't get into the saturated fats. Don't eat a lot of palm oil. Don't eat a lot of coconut oil. Coconut oil is a high temp oil for cooking. Totally fine, but don't add it to your coffee. I've been there, done that. You don't need to add butter and coconut oil to your coffee. Honey, don't get that on the computer. So fats, hope you got that. 9 grams per calorie, or 9 calories per gram of fat. 4, 9. 4 protein, 4 carb, 9 fat. You need to get 25 grams of fiber plus. Okay, that may all sound confusing. It might not make any sense. But those are your macros. Okay? Protein, fat, carbs, fiber. Get those. How do you set that? Okay? I'm really going to keep this at least under 10 minutes. How do you set that? Let's start here. Unless you're working with me personally and we're going to work on something different, we'll go into some other conversations like macro cycling, carbohydrate cycling, one of my favorites, tried and true methods. Okay? You guys that have known me for any amount of time, tried and true method, carb cycling works for me. If you do it correctly, you cannot mess up though. If you want to use a dietary strategy and still utilize carbs and be efficient at carb burning, I would rather be a carb burner and be able to be carb adapted than you hear this fat adapted, like people want to do keto. I'm not knocking keto. I've done it and I think it's a fine dietary strategy to use for a short time. But if you're going to do keto, do plant-based, mostly plant-based keto. Don't do bacon. We'll talk about pork another time if you want to talk about that personally. Don't do bacon. Don't be high fat like meats or anything. Do avocado, macadamia nuts, that kind of thing if you're going to do keto, and do it short term. And if you want to do it correctly, reach out. I can help. You can reach out to somebody else. I don't really care. Maybe I'm not the coach for you, but do it short term and have a plan to get off the plan. Okay. So where was I? So any of those dietary strategies that you're using, you want to make sure you eventually get to the point where you're carb adapted. Your body knows how to use and utilize carbohydrates properly. Everybody's going to be a little different. You may be insulin resistant and you may be working with your physician. That is going to be something completely different. But in general, in the general population, you want to be able to eat carbs and a little bit of fat and some proper amount of protein. Okay, so where do you start? You're going to start with your goal weight. If your goal weight's 100 pounds, which again, it better not be. But let's say you were only 120 pounds and you're like 4 foot tall. Okay? Then you are going to go, let's say you're 120 pounds and you want to be 100 pounds, you're going to go to 115. That's going to be your goal because you're going to go 5 to 10 pound increments. If you have 100 pounds to lose, which some of you do, or more, then you're going to still go smaller increments unless, again, you're working with your physician and you have a different plan, then that's something completely different. But in general, working with a health and wellness coach like myself, we're going to take you a few pounds at a time because you want to work with the most amount of calories that you could lose weight on so you have more room to move. Okay, so you're going to go maybe 5-10 pounds down. If you have 100 pounds to lose or more, then you can go 50 pounds, 30 pounds at a time. Okay, but don't go drop it all the way down because number one, you're going to be starving, and then it'll be too low calorie for you, and you'll be hungry, and you're just going to eat stuff that you shouldn't, and you'll get a plateau and all those things. Okay, so you're going to go a few pounds at a time. So if you're 120 pounds and you want to be 100 pounds, you're going to go to 115 pounds to be your goal weight. You're going to aim for about 110 to 115 grams of protein. That's that 0.8 to 0.1 gram of protein. Okay, so you're going to go protein, and then you're going to fill in carbs and fat. If you don't really want to do the percentages, you can go like this. You can go goal body weight times 10 or 12 and then you're going to get that amount of protein. So you're going to get 120 grams of protein. And then that's going to be 1,200 calories. Let's say you're at 1,200 calories. 120 grams of protein, and then you're just going to fill in the carbs and fat anywhere within that range, staying within that calories. So you're going to get your MyFitnessPal. I don't use that one. I use the Lose It app. Use the Lose It app. Type in 1,200 calories, and then you're just going to log your food, and then you're going to get 120 grams of protein, and then it doesn't really matter how many fats or carbs you get at first. Okay. I hope that made sense. So your carbohydrates, protein, fat, those are your macronutrients. Your fiber, aim for 25 to 60 grams if you're getting there with me. I'm about 50 grams a day. Fiber, drink lots of water, 3 liters or so, maybe a gallon and a half. I used to drink 2 when I was competing, but I was eating massive amounts of protein that was not good for my body. Short term. I hope I'm making sense. I'm kind of all over the place. Nobody really gave me specific questions. Everybody's like, I need a macro crash course. And then nobody gave me any questions. So I'm just going to give you this information, and maybe you'll spark some questions off of this information. So macros 101. What are the macros? Hope you guys wrote those down. Your 4 calories per gram of carb, 4 calories per gram of protein, 9 calories per gram of fat. You want to get 25 plus grams of fiber, up to 60. You want to get 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per goal pound of body weight. You want to get, if you're doing a percent, between 20 and 40% from carbohydrates. You want to stay on the lower end of fat for most people. Your fiber content is going to help flush a lot of doo-doo out of you, as long as you're eating the correct amounts of fiber or the correct types of fiber. So not a lot of fake fibers like in the protein bars and stuff, which I do like. But when I eat real fruits and vegetables, my body responds much better. I hope that made sense. I don't want to do too much because, again, like, this is just a video that I'm going to post on YouTube because, again, I know not everybody is on Instagram or Facebook, so I want to make sure that I can post there. So I can't obviously see questions, but please ask the questions, because if you want me to explain it different, I can. If you want me to explain how I do it, you can. But that's where we start. So if you came to me as a personal wellness client and you're like, I want to lose this amount of weight, and before we ever talked about blood work or anything like that, we'll talk about functional medicine labs another day. That's a whole nother subject and a whole nother topic that I think gets thrown around right now. Some people spend some unnecessary money. Now, I mean, obviously they are helpful at times, and I have used them with clients at times, but it's the last thing we do typically. And that's unlike some other people, some other colleagues of mine that I work with. They'll test first, and that's on them. That's on their own clients. Everybody's different, but I want you to do this last. So if you come to me and you're like, I want to lose this weight, I've plateaued at all of these things, then I'm going to start you at that, that goal body weight times about 11. We're going to go for about 1 gram of protein. Yes, baby.
Mom, what is that point?
I don't know. Just 1 second.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. We're going to go about 1 gram of protein, or 1 gram of protein per that goal pound. And then we're just going to fill in the carbs and fat wherever you want to start. Okay. So log your food, weigh your food out. Maybe I'll do that for the next video. We're going to weigh your food out, and you need to pick up a food scale. You need to learn how to read nutrition labels. Make reading nutrition labels your friend. I will do a video on that. I can write down my own ideas. And be a nutrition detective, nutrition label detective. Read the labels, read the ingredients, make sure they don't have that many ingredients. Eat the whole foods, weigh the whole foods. And that's about it. I wanted to keep this under 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. Now it's at 15. So there you have it. Okay. Protein, carbs, fat. Make sure you're getting your fiber. Hopefully that makes sense. So you go goal body weight times 10 to 11. Go at your higher end at first. If you're not losing weight or you're even gaining weight, then drop it down. Don't go below about 1,300 calories for any long amount of time, or unless you're working under a physician's care. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that for now. So I hope that helps. I really hope that helps. I really just wish I would have had more questions, because I get questions all the time. It's not like I write all the questions down I get every day, because I just answer questions. So it would have helped if you would have had specifics. So that's it. Hope you like it. Hope you're having a great day. And I'll do another video on nutrition label reading, on if you're working out, how much to eat, carb cycling versus calorie cycling versus different dietary strategies to use. Again, all short term, totally fine. Just have a plan to get off the plan. I'm not knocking anybody that's going to jump on a nutrition dietary strategy plan. If you're working with somebody, or if you're trying to figure it out yourself, start logging your stuff. I am not knocking that at all. I'm not the coach that's like, don't follow anything and don't do dietary strategies and just intuitively eat. We're going to talk about that too, because that is a goal. That's my goal for you. When you reach your goal, is to let's get to intuitively eating. And sometimes you have to go back and you have to do another nutrition plan when you fall off track, or you just need a little bit of accountability. I do it too. I have a coach, okay? Nothing strict. Or have groups, this group. So anyways, but then you have to have a plan to get off the plan. That was much longer than I wanted to. I knew it would be. So now I am signing off. Have a great day.